Hello again. So, on this episode, we are going to talk about, is what you are getting from your brokerage worth the value you are paying? I am Danielle Tucker Shepard, your host of Being Present in Real Estate, and today that's what we're going to talk about. Knowing what your value add is, knowing what your brokerage value add is, and do they match up? If what you're bringing to your brokerage and what your brokerage is bringing to you match with the money that you make. So, let's talk about it. You know, in some brokerages, and I never get settled, and I always forget my microphone. So in some brokerages, okay, I'm going to use a typical brokerage, okay? In some brokerages, your commission is split. The majority of brokerages, your commission is split. It is 80-20, 70-30, 90-10, 95-5, 96-4, whatever it is. Most of the time it's split. Most of the time it's split in the favor of the agent. But sometimes it's split in the favor of the brokerage. Have you ever talked to those brokerages where it's a 40-60 split, but you're getting the 40, or a 30-70 where you're getting the 30, or sometimes even a 50-50? 10 years ago, when I started in real estate, 50-50 split was the norm. It was normal to have that. Nobody questioned it. That's pretty much what everybody did. They did a 50-50 split. But then what happened is we had the insurgence of these 100% brokerages. But you know, 100% brokerage is not 100%. You get the 100% commission, but you're paying a lot. Because, let's break it down, honestly, if it was truly 100%, for one, that brokerage couldn't stay in business. But for two, wouldn't everybody go to that? So there's a place and a home for everyone. And when you're choosing a brokerage, you have got to figure out what value the brokerage brings to the table and what it is worth to you. Okay? So that's what we're going to be talking about. So when you are paying a split, so I'm going to just use, for a lot of new agents, a normal split now is like a 70-30 for a lot of new agents. That is not what all the brokerages do. Some of them are higher, some of them are lower. I'm using that as an average, okay? So for that 30% that you're giving up, what are you getting in return? What is the value add of that brokerage? You need to find that out. You need to be able to find it out for yourself. What is the value add? Now, the value add is going to be different for everyone. Some new agents need a lot of guidance, and they need a lot of coaching, and they need a lot of hand-holding. You know, Trek even says your first 3 transactions of every type, you're supposed to be handheld by your broker or by a supervisor. So for the percent that you're giving up, what are you getting in return? Because if it doesn't equal out to you, then it's not worth what you're giving up. So let's talk about the 70-30. Okay, my brokerage does not start at 70-30. I'm using that as an example. Okay. But let's talk about the 70-30 because that's most of your mainstream corporate brands are doing that. So let's talk about it. So for the 30% of every transaction that you're giving up, not talking about if it was a lead system or something like that, because usually you're giving up more if it's a lead. Okay? But let's just talk about the 30%. So on that 30%, what do you get in return? Do you get marketing materials? Do you get one-on-one counsel with your broker? Do you get the support that you need? Do you get technology? Do you get to be table funded? That's always a big one. Do you get resources? Do you get taught how to sustain yourself? Like the old adage, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Is your brokerage helping you to brand yourself and to teach you how to sustain yourself, how to build a brand for yourself? Because that's huge. So for that 30%, are you also getting education? What do you get? And for everybody, it is going to be a personal decision. You have to figure out what is important to you. And you have to understand that if it's important to you, that you get support, mentoring, coaching, technology, resources, education. If that's all important, then you have to say, is it worth my 30%? Now, if you're with a brokerage and you're all of a sudden like, it's not worth that, I'm going to go ask for more money. I'm going to ask for a bigger percent. Well, people who own a brokerage have a business plan. They're not going to change for you. They're not going to change the way they do business because you are asking for a bigger split because you don't see the value. And when you ask that, for one, it's insulting to the brokerage. It's insulting to who owns it. And it doesn't do anything other than make things uncomfortable because they are not going to stop the way they're doing business that has been successful for them just because you want more. Because it's not that you're asking for more. You're literally asking them to change their entire structure of their business. And if they have a successful business model, it's not going to work. Now, when someone comes to me and asks me, oh, hey, I need more in my commission, even though my commission structure is very much lined out, I ask them, what do you not see as a value? Like, what are you paying for that you're not seeing as a value? If they can answer that question, then that gives us room to grow and change. But a lot of times they don't think about it. Just like when I tell new agents when they're, going through school and they're interviewing brokerages, the first thing is you have to know what you need out of a broker. I'm going to say that again because it is the most important thing. You have to know what you need out of a broker. Even if you're fresh out of school, the real estate school, you have learned in real estate school about what a brokerage does, what it has, and hopefully you've had these conversations about what you need from them. If you haven't, you kind of need to. You need to talk to your professors. You need to talk to other agents in the field and find out about what is important. But like I said, in every brokerage, it's different. Every person, it's different. Figuring out what you want from a broker is a personal decision, and it will not be the same for each person. One of our agents is very self-sufficient. They are a figure it out kind of person. All they need is a little guidance. That's it. But then I have other agents, what's important to them is, I need technology. I need resources. I need these things. And then I have other agents who are like education nerds in a positive sense. They love classes. They love education. They love learning. So you have to figure out what will be the value add for you in a brokerage. And then you have to figure out if that value in that brokerage is worth the money that you're giving. One thing that most brokerages don't like to see is brokerage hopping, where you go from one broker to another to another. And when I talk to people and I mentor and coach agents, and they start talking about, I think I just want to leave. Not me, of course, but when they talk about they want to leave their brokerage, because I coach other people at other companies, one of my biggest thing with them is, where's the value add? Where is the value of that broker to you? If you can't tell me what you need from a broker, how is that broker supposed to say, oh yes, I can meet that need, or no, I can't? When I interview agents and when agents interview me, same thing, because we're both trying to see if we're going to make a good fit. My question to them is always, what do you need in a broker? And agents who have an answer to that is a lot better than agents who don't. If you can't answer that question of what do you need from a broker, how do you expect that broker to meet what you need? It's kind of like, my husband trying to read my mind all the time because I think he should be able to read my mind by this time. We can't read your mind. We don't know what you need. You got to tell us. Now, don't tell my husband I said that, because I still expect him to read my mind. But for regular people, I can't read your mind. You have to tell me what is important to you. What do you need from a broker? Because then I can tell you very honestly if I can meet that need or not. Some brokerages offer a lead system. If that is important to you, then you need to go to a brokerage that feeds you. If you plan on making this a long-term career, then you need to find a brokerage that teaches you how to fish. So not only do you have to know what you need from a broker, you have to know what the value of that need is. Because people aren't going to give you things for free. Okay? It always comes at a cost. Yes, you can do 100% brokerage if you're already a top producer. If you're not a top producer, do not do 100% brokerage, because they are not going to support you as a new agent the way you need to be supported. If you're going to be at a split brokerage, make sure you talk about that. What am I going to get for my percent? There are some brokerages out there that you have to pay your own E&O insurance. That is a completely foreign concept to me, because we, in most brokerages, whether I was with Coldwell Banker or now, we do a mutual defense. I don't need separate coverage because I buy the coverage for all my agents because we have a mutual defense. So there are a lot of things that you have got to figure out before you go talk to brokerages, or if you're thinking about a change. But everything that you talk about stems from one thing. What do you need from a broker? And is the value of what you need worth whatever percent that you have to give up out of your commission to pay for that value? It's like I said, nothing's free. These are things that you've got to figure out. Until you do, you are going to have a rough time at any brokerage you go to. because you're not going to be happy when things don't go your way. You're not going to be fulfilled and satisfied as a real estate agent can be. Because you're always going to have this, that's not worth it. Why am I giving them so much money? I can't believe they take all this. Where's my cap? I love that question. So so all kidding aside, the goal for today, okay? What is the value of a broker to you? What do you need from a broker? And is your commission split worth the value that they provide? Guys, I am always here for you. Of course, the name. If you ever have questions or just want to talk about things, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Leave me a message on the channel. I'm easy to find on social media. Just reach out. Talk to me. Not to be a recruiter and but sometimes you just need a disinterested third party to help you work through some things. So, I am Danielle Tucker Shepard, and I am your host of Being Present in Real Estate, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in today and listening. I know I am sporadic because life is busy. So you guys have a great week. God bless. I'm praying for each of you, and I hope you have an amazing week. Take care.